should be back again. And hopefully we have some audio. Let's see if people pop up again. Hello. Let's see. Yeah, we had a crash of OBS. It did not see the audio card for some reason. So I don't know what happened. It's part of the game, I think. And let's see if you can hear me. Is the audio okay? It should be okay. So, okay, let's start again. Okay, video okay, yeah. With sound is always better, isn't it? Okay, so my first news is that Sanguinea sent again his bank for Prisma, and he did several updates to the sounds. So I'm just playing one sound here, which is midnight on Mars. And if correctly, the link below the YouTube already should be okay for this updated version. For some reason, I lost here the markings for having the favorite stuff. But yeah, I was playing this Midnight on Mars, and what is very nice, sometimes you hear the sound, which is a layer sound. Definitely 4 things are going on. And then I thought, okay, this sound in the background, this choir is so nice. And then I simply shut down. So that was I was busy with that. And then I noticed that there was no audio. So if I click here, edit plugin, it's this sound. And this sound is called Priceless from Tonal Axis. And it's a very, very sweet sound. Cool, isn't it? Yeah, Vecto, very cool synthesizer. Came originally from the Reason as a rack extension, and we have many requests to have this one also as a VST. So we produced this one also as a VST. So we have Vecto and Quad, which originally were this rack extension for Reason. And what we are doing, by the way, with Vecto is that we most likely in May we will have an update for Punch 2 with improved MIDI export, but also some new sounds. But also with Vecto, most likely we will have then also some new sounds, and that you can use granular in the if you select one of these samples. So it's going to be a very cool May month, and so just by playing this one. Cool, isn't it? So download this version from the info section. You unzip it and then you throw it in the correct folder, the bank folder of Prisma, and it's called Sanguinea Project 01B. That's the folder name, because currently I keep it as a beta version, because when I have more time I need to check all the presets, and now it will be part of the factory patches. One Only Blue. What's that one again? So it's loading. I think that was also a very cool one. Cool, isn't it? It's real, like a real orchestra. Yeah, that's a good point, John. Never update your system just for a live stream. Yeah, lesson learned again. Yeah, it was a Windows update, and for some reason, the audio thing was gone. But it's fixed, so that's good news. I'm not sure if Sanguinea is in the chat room. If he is in the chat room, let me know maybe which preset I should focus on. Because I'm currently just played the thing just ahead of the live stream. I was playing around, so he did increase some presets in terms of adding some little things, using the reverb of Prisma instead of each synthesizer their own reverb. You know, we discussed that last week. Let's see if this one. Yeah, it is, of course, because of the 4 layers, a very full sounds. And that's what we did last week. We said, well, if you have a sound, okay, let's take this Saw Heaven. I think that was a cool one. Is that you can simply also shut down layers to be used in your music. I think this one has, so if we put down. Just play. Sanguinea, you there? So this is a really nice stack sound of stacking bit, 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 BIT. So it is really a big pet sound. And the other one, Blue 2, is doing some ARP stuff. So these are really fun things to use. One funky. I think that wasn't, this was RG. Classic ARP. So let's just play another one. Yeah, a lot of ARP going on in this one. Okay. Sequence complex rhythm. Let's take that one. Use slider 4. Okay, I need to go back and use slider 4. Okay, which one I had? Oh yes, that was the ARP. Was it the classic ARP I just played? Oh, I could. Yeah, I think so. And use. Okay, let's see if that was the one. Yeah. Use slider 4. Oh, slider 4 doesn't have anything. Oh. So maybe you mean another one. Okay, so what I then. Sequence complex rhythm. Okay, let's see what that one is. Oh, that one has a sequence 4. That's in the equal. So it's almost like a fret bass. Oh, cool sound. Bluetooth. Hear that one? Yeah, and that's the fun part of Prisma. Sometimes you need to shut down things which would fit in the mix. And that's also what Sanguinea says, is that with his preset, it is a text file you also can load. He does mention if you make, of course, a trillion record, that you should give him a trillion million hit record. You should give him a cup of coffee. I think also a nice dinner. But he also mentions that in the mix, these sounds maybe are too full. But the cool thing is that you can shut down things and then suddenly you find out some interesting sounds. What I was doing ahead of that, because that was the second plan today, is to create from scratch a German Berlin School old electronic music piece. And you see here I have some lanes with instruments. There's a drum playing, so I could use it now, which is punch 2, doing a groove thing. So yeah, there's a nice sequence for a track. So that one is just one sound of this layer. There's also a cool one. Cool hypnosis. Yeah. Yeah, you did a lot of cool addings to the current preset. Okay, now another one. Yeah, that's what I thought. That sounded a bit like a slap bass. But that's because if you combine it all together, it combines these sounds together, and then you get a kind of audio fantasy that you hear things which are maybe not the things you might think what it is. Yeah, cool, isn't it? So, okay, and Sanguinea mentioned with Fader 4 for this preset Saw Heaven. Okay, let's go back to Saw Heaven. Aha! Okay, I hit the wrong note, so that controls the volume of this layer. Okay, Pat Pure BIT. Okay, let's try that one. Of course, you can download it. And of course, it makes sense if you have everything. So if you have the Explorer 6 bundle, then of course, Prisma makes totally sense to be used. Just like stacking stack synth sound, nice. Okay, Sanguinea, let me know if there is one particular preset I really should play, because I also wanted to do the other thing today. Up Chaos, we also had that one. Pat Milky Way, okay. Let's listen to the Milky Way, Pat. A bit like a reverse sound. Lo-fi, panning, filters. Okay, Afex's question is, Prisma, is this new? No, it's already out for a longer period. It's something you can request if you have at least one instrument or FX, although if you have one FX, you don't have any use for Prisma. But for instance, if you have Go2 or BIT or Predator 2, you can request Prisma, and Prisma allows you to stack 4 instruments. And then, yeah, it has its own 4 layers. You can have split points, all kind of cool stuff. It has built-in FX and multi-control page, which I'm using here. So it's kind of a stacking device. And that makes that you can combine different type of synthesis together. And now we are in a bank created by Sanguinea. And so there are many presets on board already. So this is going to be a new bank in the factory patches very soon, but you already can download it now. But yeah, let me give you one simple example. If you go to the first folder, it's called Super Pads. And let's see if I go order by date. Clicking here, Noisy Pads in Space, you can see this one uses Blade 2 and Bluetooth. So that's the cool thing about Prisma. You combine 2 types of synthesis. So if I play Blade now, together with Bluetooth. Okay, so So it sounds like $1 trillion million synthesizer that you really combine different synthesis together. And so you see Blade 2 is loading, and you simply can add it, still do your changes. So if you want to change the sound, or maybe take another one. So that's the way by stacking sound. So I even could say, okay, I take a third one. I put BIT, and I take very fast one of the pad sounds. Go to the manager because that's goes a little bit faster. Pads. Okay. Okay, now I close the user interface. Okay, 1 second. I had to sneeze. Yeah, Prisma only can use our own synthesizers. The one reason for it is that if we would able to use other ones, and you get then problems because, yeah, for instance, maybe you load in a VST which is for some reason not stable, it would crash it, and people would come to us and say, why does it crash? And so we would run into a lot of support for a product which is free. Now with Prisma as a free product, and we load in all plugins only, we are sure that it will work. So that's the reason. Well, but there is an alternative. So if you like this way of stacking sounds, there is from Plugin Guru, there is a plugin that can load anything. It's called Unify, so check it out. It's very cool. I had it also on my system, but for some reason it stopped, so I need to contact him again, and maybe I could play it also on a live stream. But Unify, that's the plugin which you can stack anything you have inside in your setup, and I think it's about $80 or $79 in total. So okay. So yeah, so back to the Sanguinea Bank. Check it out. Most likely next week we'll come back to it when I have a little bit more time playing around with it, discovering new things. Let's play last one, Gravity Fields, because unlucky I did not have much time because we are busy with a new plugin. Nice. Okay, Aphex. Yeah, you can compare it with Prisma. Is I think Unify even can do a lot more. So Prisma is, of course, focusing only on our own instruments, and that's the difference. So okay, yeah. Kafa is asking Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah, it's in progress. Next week, guys, next week, Thursday, most likely I can show you this little new plugin which has really two faces. And we're currently working on the last stage, doing the some of the little graphic stuff. And of course, I had this little video as a little peek, sneak preview. But next week, yeah, you can see it in action. Most likely you will like it because it is a very good, nice tool. And yeah, let's fingers crossed that it's going to be released next week. Okay, what was the other challenge I wanted to do? We have still some time left, of course. So about the Sanguinea Project, you can download it, install it. There's a text file. And next week we catch up again. Then I have a little bit more time to play around with it and play maybe also some more presets. Okay. Okay, what is the challenge today? Which is a very difficult challenge because I could totally mess up. What you see here is a long bar of notes. Essentially, I wanted to do something with Berlin School electronic music. Maybe you know from Tangent Dream, Klaus Schulze from the 70s and 70s, and how to try to make something with our plugins and simply by using the built-in sequencer, because at that time you had, of course, these analog sequencers. And so let's see how far we get. So what I did is simply, you can see here the drums, which is active, just a beat. Then I have prepared this, which is only this one, a note. You see, it's just one note. See, and this one is perfectly timed to trigger the sequencer. So I would go then to the sequencer here and would say of the ARP, in fact, here the ARP active, and then and you hear it already playing. So this will be the starting point. So just like if you would have a modular synthesizer, I simply start from scratch. So because if you plug in everything together, you put on the oscillators, then you put the sequencer, you need to turn the sequencer, tune each step in this analog design. And so I could start with Predator 2, or maybe should start with BIT. So okay, let's see if I do the same with BIT. Here it is. Okay, so you have a beat, and then you need to, okay, what I do is then use one oscillator, bit envelope, and then simply what you would do on a modular synthesizer, you turn the dials to make a kind of melody. Okay, and so that's what I'm doing down here. And in fact, if you would have a SQ10, it would take you longer because you really need to tune it. Now you simply select and then just play around. Okay, that's not bad. And now I would tweak the sound a bit. Okay, now does phase, go one octave lower. And then you adjust. And keep in mind, at that time they did not have really velocity, although they could patch a second row from the analog sequencer to the cutoff frequency. So if I open here the cutoff velocity, I could add a bit of velocity changes. And of course, yeah, it's the... Now, of course, the sequence, I'm not sure if it's a good one. What I sometimes can also do, shut off some steps, make it half. And then, of course, a delay is important. Now you have a left-right. That could be too busy, so sometimes it's also cool to have a mono delay. So I take left and right, 1/8 dotted. So I need to have the left one also to 1/8 dotted. Now I have a mono one. So left and right, if you go up here, you read out left and right are 1/8 note dotted. And to make it a little bit old style, I put a bit low pass, so the delay is a bit muddy. What makes the case is that if you take away the high end of the delay, it mixes nicer. And of course also I take away the low end by using the high pass filter a bit. And then of course you need to feel. So this could be the basic sound. So I'm tweaking a bit. Okay, so that could be a basic sound for it. Then you would say, okay, we need an additional sequence for making it all style. So I could go down maybe to Predator. Okay, there take a different waveform. So let's see what we have here. So now I need to combine this sound. So it's again a sequencer, and it's all in minor. So we keep one chord. Okay, so put on. And of course, it's a matter of moving things around. So I've got to do double speed. Let's see what happens when I. Okay, this could be an option, only it's getting boring because it's each time the same, you know? Oh, okay, now I hit press, wrong. So I could say, copy this one. So here I have a command, and I can say, copy ARP A to B. And then I have select here ARP B, and then I change a little bit. Then I say join. So okay, now this one misses the delay. So here I take a stereo delay that really goes. Also here a little bit of low pass filter. Okay, and then you need to tweak. Okay, this one is better. 1 second. So I copy that one again. Command. Copy to B. And join. And now edit B. Now, but tweaking the sound. So you now see it starts building up. But now what I need to do is play around what I did, because now it's only the basic thing, is adding the extra notes. Okay, you see, now I played this over, and then now I need to do a little bit of editing. So now I can make the sequencer more complex, simply because it uses essentially the arpeggiator, so I can play over the sequence again. Okay, I need to glue this. Oops, one too many. So you see, this is the new one, so I delete the old one, and then most likely, if I've done it well, I should have one which is changing and interesting. Okay. This. Oops. Yeah. Sometimes you hit the wrong note. So let's see how it plays out now. Yeah, this one starts to get somewhere. Maybe sometimes notes. So I still can add it. This is better without the triple. What also could be cool if this one goes into a fader. Maybe that will be cool. Let's throw a phaser on it. Too busy. So I keep it as it is. So this is Predator 2. As a top sequencer, and we have of course BIT below it. And what I also often do is once you have another sound added to, you sometimes need to adjust a little bit the other one. Okay, let's make that maybe a little bit. Okay, so that's really a bass for it. So it's 2 tracks. And yeah, what you then also need is maybe it's a nice pad sound. So that could be used. So we go back again and play a kind of pad sound which floats below it. Yeah, that's not bad, isn't it? So, okay, sometimes I hear a little bit of drifting, which could be maybe that's some notes. Yeah, I mean, if you would do this with an analog machine, it takes you far more hours because the tuning is so very difficult on a traditional analog sequencer. You really need to have the tuner next to it, and of course you run then sometimes into interesting melodies, but a sequence creating on the SQ10 took quite some while. So yeah, you see we have a drum beat, simple drum beat. We have the Predator now. So we have the Jupiter type pad. It's next to me, but of course, if you look to control, if you're looking for this type of sound, so this little melody here, with the pad plate, I let it go back, also repeat it after a few bars. So I do copy it over, plus 16, and then it should play again. Let's see, plus 16. So let's see how this sounds. So it's only one bass sequence and one plucky sequence, and somebody said it sounds a bit like a yeah, these typical computer game sounds. But that's the computer games. They had oscillators which very often were only square waveform, and these are of course what is used in this. Now another thing what you could do, so let's say that I keep this here, what you could do is to make it more magic, is that you could use recording the parameters. So I can do this now. I click here on record and write. So now what I could do is from the start, so, and we did that of course in the studio live tweaking, but now we have the option to record it. So of course I need to start a little bit earlier. So now I start on beat 4, you see, beat 4, and once I start recording, I throw back the envelope amount. So I press record. Maybe I should take 2 bars. So I start at bar 3. And you see there's bar 3 is there. There's bar 3. And then I have time to pull down this envelope. And then I open the envelope very slowly. So let's see how that works. This is also what we did in the studio to have a bit of more dynamic change in the build-up of a song. So, okay, I press now a record. Essentially, it should record now. So, okay, so now the envelope is down. And you see, you don't hear the Predator 2, you don't hear because the envelope amount is close. And there it is. Okay. So I put off write and read. So now it reads this. Okay, let's go back again. And then you should hear. Let's. Okay. This one should go up now. Yeah, that's a good point. You also can use the modulation wheel, but that's the same option, of course. Yeah, that's also a thing. So automation, which works in most of the host sequencer. So now it's very luxury. I mean, in the past, we had to do this with analog machines and record it. And of course, that also was fun. But you see, now it fades in. Okay, I'm checking the chat room. So I'm doing a little bit of a electronic music from the 70s, but done with our plugins. So yeah, you see, we have this sequence going on. Maybe we could see for an extra sequence. So what should we do? We could use, for instance, Bluetooth. That will be a challenge, isn't it? Because that's FM synthesis. So this is Bluetooth. I'll go to the sequencer. Need to put it on the sequencer. You see, it works also a bit different. And you have 32 steps. And of course, I keep it on. Yeah, sometimes it's cool to have it only 16. And now we do something with FM synthesis. Let's see how that works. Okay, so I start again. Yeah, it should be playing. Okay, algorithm. Let's try this one. So F goes, and then C and D. Now C and D modulate F. I need to go to C and D. Open the amount. So now I have FM synthesis. That's a challenge. Okay, now you see I don't start at T1. So I'm just playing around with the velocity and so let me play the sound solo. Okay. It's not. Here it is. So now we have Bluetooth also. Okay, now I'm at the end. Okay, I'll play again. Yeah, that's a very different sound, of course. FM synthesis was not in the 70s. now I'm checking out how this could be, of course, a bit more exciting because it's very steady. And what you could do is then send this FM sound into the filter and then have the filter wobble. So you see it builds up a little bit. Okay, so yeah, you see, guys, now it starts building up. Yeah, the Bluetooth is a difficult one because it's FM synthesis. I could use add track instrument, and now if I would go over, let's say in the Schulze mode, I would take a BIT and a Moog stylish lead sound. Okay, Moog, good bit. Where is BIT in the list? Okay. Synth lead. This one. And then of course oh, this one could you maybe a bit of a so, and then you got, a little bit of electronic music from the 70s, produced in 2021. So something like this. So a bit today about creating some scratch things, and yeah, it well could be run into nothing, but it pretty went okay. And yeah, we are a bit over time, but I was also a bit late. So let's check the chat room. Maybe I should save this one. Could be maybe a base for a nice song. You never know. Save. Okay, I did save it. Yeah, go to. It will be easier to fit in. Of course, Bluetooth, with adding Bluetooth, I made it myself a little bit difficult. But it was a challenge, isn't it? So I can see here, I remember the Love Parade in Germany when we had to perform from India. Okay, cool. So from India into Berlin and the parade. Yeah, very famous parade there. And hopefully it will be back very soon if this COVID stuff is gone. Okay. Yeah, guys, we are a bit over time, but I was so late because I had an issue. OBS did crash, but we are in the time of having the demo from Tom. Okay, I see, Kafa, a question how to make envelope global pitch amount like Symbol Base 2 in BIT. Well, that's not so, or maybe I should answer that one because that's not so complex. You go over here, you see MIDIs, you pick one of the sources, which could be an envelope, and you put that on the global semi-fine, and then you can get a pitch glide. But we could dive into it also next week. So I hopefully enjoyed this live stream. A bit different from the other times. I simply started from scratch doing the Berlin school stuff around here. Okay, so let's go out with Tom Aldrich, Funky Tom. And he sent over another cool demo. And just have a listen. And thanks, Tom, again for another cool demo. And I play it again and enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you back again next week. Thursday, we will be back, and hopefully we can show you then our new FX plugin, which is a very cool one. So stay safe, enjoy creating music, and see you very soon.